Hey, it's Ace, and for a long time, we've told you about Neogenics, Charlotte's most trusted stem cell clinic, and how phenomenal a job they did helping me with my left wrist. Well, this is Neil. Neil Simler is a member of the Ace and TJ Radio family. Neil, you took the free consultation to have them check out your elbow and talk about what happened just when you went for the free consultation.
They were very straightforward and let me know that they weren't going to treat any of my ailments if they weren't 100% sure that they were going to be able to effectively help my issue. And never once were they pushy with trying to get me to spend more money and do, the higher end shots.
Now, 3 months later, how do you feel?
I'm 95% better, if not 100%. It's just been one of the best decisions I've made. Do yourself a favor, get out there as soon as possible.
Set up your free consultation today at acetj.com/neogenics. It's Neogenix. Neogenics, Charlotte's most trusted stem cell clinic.
They say there are only two things certain in life: sweet deals at Sweet Dreams and taxes.
And only one of those is certain this month.
Which one?
The sweet deals at Sweet Dreams.
What about the taxes?
No sales tax the entire month of April at Sweet Dreams.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And don't call me Shirley.
Love where you live, Lake Norman, and pay no sales tax during the month of April. Only at Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress.
Why is self-confidence a key to success? Well, because believing in yourself, having confidence in your own abilities, that plays a large part in your success. It makes you resilient. It helps you push forward in the face of overwhelming odds. But what happens when you lose that confidence? What happens if you've never really found that confidence in yourself? Maybe you think you can't overcome. You can't get back to where you were. Well, you can. And how do I know that? Because I was reminded this week of a story. One of the greatest athletic entertainers of all time, someone you would never imagine, had such a struggle with self-confidence, it nearly ruined him. But he found a way back. Maybe we can help you find a way back too. Let's start the meeting.
Whatever you're going through, you will get through it because you're here. And that means you are not alone. This is The Meaningful Meeting. Now your host, Ace Cannon.
You're not ready for today's edition of The Meaningful Meeting. How do I know that? Because I'm not ready for today's edition of The Meaningful Meeting. I struggle a lot of times with trying to be fully prepared and wanting to come in here and give you something that's really well thought out and well organized and well planned. And today is not one of those days. Because today I've just been struggling with something lately. And I had to stop myself and really put some effort into getting myself moving forward again. I don't know that I have. To be quite honest with you, I'm still struggling with this. It's self-confidence. And I hope that somewhere through my struggle today and the story that I was reminded of this week, you can find a way to begin building more self-confidence for yourself, or at least understanding how important it is and why you've got to make that move forward. So allow me to kind of set the scene. I just, as a person, over the past few years, have struggled with my own self-confidence. It may not sound like it. It may not feel like it. If you listen to any of our radio shows, if you listen to the Ace and TJ show, if you listen to Ace and Friends. But I have. And not always in a way that relates to what it is we do on a daily basis. Because there's something to be said for, after doing something for 30 years at a very high level, just having the ability to do that almost on autopilot. But in a lot of areas of my life, my confidence has been shaken. I'm struggling with a lot of things right now, trying to find my way to work through it. And it's been going on for a few years. And if I had to be honest with you, I hate to keep bringing this up all the time, but so many things stem from this. It kind of started after my daughter died. And I don't understand the correlation there other than the fact that whenever a child dies, it shakes you and shapes you in so many different ways. There's a reason that a little over 50% of marriages, I think it's more like 60% of marriages, good couples, once one of their children died, that they end up divorcing. it kind of shakes you and shapes you in many different ways. We've had some various setbacks in other ways, various setbacks in my life, various tensions, various problems, various issues that have come up. The death of my mom was a long, arduous process that was difficult, the different things that have happened. But here we are. And I was reminded today of something. And many of you probably know this story. You know that I'm a professional wrestling fan, have been since I was a kid. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time is the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Now, you know him, styling, profiling, kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing, son of a gun, the whole bit. He's become a cultural icon, known far and wide for his arrogance and his belief that he is the very best. Known far and wide for his success. But I was reminded this week that in the late 1990s, after being at the top of the mountain for some 15 years or so, he had a crisis of confidence. It's a very long story. I won't get into all of the details. But he came to the WWE in the early 2000s. And to hear others tell the story, they were stunned to find out that he wasn't sure he could still do it. He wasn't sure he could still go on the mic. He knew that this crisis of confidence had led to his body not looking like it should look. And we are talking about a person who is mainly considered by so many people to be the very best professional wrestler there has ever been. Now, give or take whatever you think of professional wrestling, that doesn't matter. You know who he is. Thus, you understand the impact. And whatever you do for a living, when you are thought of while you're living as the very best there has ever been to ever do it, which he was, which he has been, and your career is built on arrogance and confidence and this character that believes he is above reproach, and he is the jet-flying, limousine-riding, kiss-stealing, wheeling-dealing son of a gun. Diamonds are forever, and so is Slick Rick. Or were they? Because in his book, he talks about the fact that he could barely function because he had lost faith in himself. And it's stunning to me to think that someone with that much success for that long a period of time suddenly had this crisis of confidence. And I guess I shouldn't say suddenly, because he talks about the fact that it eroded over time. A little bit here, a little bit there, and next thing you know, that snowball's picking up speed, headed down the mountain. And there he was. The man many considered to be the greatest of all time. Having to take someone aside who had grown up watching him, idolizing him, and had to tell this person, I don't think I can do it. I'm scared. I don't have it in me anymore to go out there and do the very thing that everyone considers to me to be the very best in the world at. If it can happen to him, it can damn sure happen to you. And it can happen in many different ways. And sometimes it's just one little thing that starts the ball rolling. It can be one comment that sticks in your head. And we talk about this all the time, and it's kind of a thing anytime you work in the public eye like we do, whether it's radio, especially now in the age of social media. You always remember the negative. 1,000 people could post on any social media post that I have. And if I'm scrolling through, I'll remember the negative one, head and shoulders above everybody else. Whether it impacts me or not is not the point. It's the fact that I will remember that one. Over time, sometimes you have to work through that because it can have an impact on you. I've struggled lately with confidence, and I'm doing some work for a friend of mine's company, doing some video work. As I mentioned before, I've struggled with confidence in a variety of ways. But a week ago, I had to go in and film these videos that I'm doing for him and host them. And it required spending, hour and a half, 2 hours in front of a television camera doing this hosting. And somewhere in there, I began to find my feet again. You know why? Because I'm really, really good at it. And I don't mean that to sound braggadocious. I mean that because I am. And my point is, self-confidence is so important. No matter how badly you've been shaken. And we've talked about this before. You've got to recognize the positive. You've got to accentuate the positive. You've got to be able to look at something and say, this I'm good at. This thing right here. No matter what that is. And that's the cornerstone. That's where you begin to slowly build your self-confidence back, because it's that important. It can be the key to your success. One of the people in the world who is closest to me is one of the greatest examples of this I have ever seen. And I don't know that he knows in my lifetime how much I have fed off of his confidence. His confidence in himself and his belief in me. I'm blessed to have, there are 3-4 people that I can think of right now in my life that I am in awe of the level of confidence that they have. And if you pay attention to it, you can begin to feed off that. You can see how they work. You can see what they do. You can see that understanding that, okay, today's not my day, but tomorrow, baby, get ready. I'm coming. And I'm not necessarily that person. I have tried throughout my life to force myself to be. So I've watched these people. Now, this one person in particular, I have known since I was a child, and I have always marveled at this ability. It's not arrogance, because he's not out telling you about it. It's confidence. He's not above reproach. He's confident. He believes that somehow it will work out, that there is nothing he can't do, and he has done a million things. He talked his way into one of the most prominent business schools in America and got an MBA. Could he do the math? No. He'll tell you, couldn't do the math. It's a pretty big part of business school. But he believed in himself enough to know, I got to have this. I'm going to get this. And if I can get in, I'll figure out a way to get the math done. I'll get help. I'll get tutored. I can learn that. And he did. And then he had a couple of setbacks. CEO. And then the investors made a change. Business changed. They decided to sell off the company. That was a setback. He went a long time without a job, but just believe it'll work out. I'm hustling, active, working, boom. I know I'm good. I believe in myself. I know it's going to work out. If I went without a job for 6 months, I would be inconsolable. Thinking people have just quit on me. Nobody believes in me. It never happened to him. It never happened. And it made everybody else believe. Did he struggle? Absolutely. Were there times he got down? He'll tell you, 100%. But they didn't last. because he believed. And it all worked out. And it worked out about as good as he could have hoped. And his life is great right now. And I'm so proud of him. And yet here I am trying to draw on that confidence, just like I did in middle school, and just like I did in high school, and just like I did in college, and just like I did afterward. And I don't even know if he knows. But I marvel at it. It's a quality that I wish I had. But it's a quality you can create. Because you got to find, like I said before, that little cornerstone, that one little block that you can build on, whatever that is, and reinforce that all the time. Reinforce the good thing that you're doing, or the good thing that you've done, or the thing you're good at. It doesn't matter. Hey, today I did this well. I did that well. I did that well. I did that well. And you got to keep generating that momentum. You got to keep telling yourself that. You got to keep slowly, one brick at a time. You're putting those bricks together. And next thing you know, you got a little bit of a room. And then you got 2 rooms, and you got a little house. That's your little house of confidence. And within that house of confidence, you have surrounded it. Brick by brick, you've built that little house of confidence, and it protects you. And that's where you put those basic thoughts, those basic beliefs that will sustain you in life. It's that important. You got to have it. I'm fighting for it right now, every single day. And you can too. But again, this isn't to wait until Monday to start. This has got to start right now. Do whatever you got to do. Start building your little house of confidence. Because it's going to make a huge difference in your life. A huge difference. And remember that once you've become a better person, once you've become more successful, once you've become whatever the goal is, to share your story and to help someone else. Because one day you will tell your story of how you overcome what you're going through now. And it will become part of someone else's survival guide. Can't wait to hear your story. I hope you'll share it with me. At Ace at Large, at Ace Cannon Media, please let me know. What are you going through? What are you experiencing? What are you struggling with? What are you trying to overcome? Let's build our little houses of confidence here together. What are your questions? What are your thoughts? I don't have all the answers, but I do love the discussion. That's why I'm in the process of putting together an Ace at Large experience, the Meaningful Meeting Live. Hopefully, I can make this announcement next week. I'm excited about it. Look forward to telling you about it. Look forward to sharing with you. I want to hear from you. Let me know at Ace at Large, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Snapchat, let me know. Share your thoughts, share your ideas, share what's happening in your life. Let's rebuild and then share that with others so they can rebuild. I'll see you next week.
Whatever you're going through, you're not alone. You are a part of the Meaningful Meeting, presented by the Radio Network. Copyright ATJ Inc. 2022.
When it comes to losing weight, sometimes you don't even know where to start. You know that it needs to happen, but you need some help. Well, you start by going to acetj.com/weight loss and ordering Calitrin. Calitrin is scientifically proven to help you lose weight, and it is not a drug. It is not a drug. Repeat that. So here's what you do. You go to acetj.com/Calitrin, order 3 months, and then you'll get 3 months free. 4 months, 4 months free. That's how it works with Calitrin.